Hi everyone, so I hope all of you guys are having a lovely day today, and I feel like it's been ages since I have last filmed, even though I think the last time I filmed was a week ago, but I feel like I haven't been as connected to YouTube and just connected to social media in general. I kind of stopped Snapchat for a while, for a long time, and I have been getting Snapchats and I have been getting DMs from you guys asking how I'm doing, and I figured I would do an update video, even though I despise making update videos. I really do. I don't like talking about myself, and it's not that I don't want to get personal with you guys. I just feel, I don't know, like selfish talking about myself and woe is me and all these things. I don't know. I just feel weird about it. I've always felt this way. I'm the same way with my friends. Like, my friends can tell me all their problems, and I am cool with that, and I will help them out to the fullest. But when it comes to actually me talking about my own problems, it's honestly a struggle for me. And I don't do it often. But I thought I would sit down with you guys and kind of give you a little update as to how I have been feeling. My health hasn't been as great, and I've always tried to stay as consistent with my channel, even though my health has been pretty much a roller coaster. For those of you who haven't been around for a long time, when I gave birth to my daughter Luna, who is now 2, when I gave birth to my daughter Luna, I ended up with postpartum thyroiditis. I gave birth to her, and I just didn't feel myself. I lost a ton of weight, 20 pounds in 1 week. I lost chunks of my hair. I was severely depressed. I had severe anxiety. I felt like I was a calm person in a hyper body, like I was trapped in my own body. I had tachycardia, I had heart palpitations, you name it. And I went to go see my primary doctor, and right away she noticed that my thyroids were enlarged. My thyroid gland was enlarged, and so she sent me to an endocrinologist, who then told me I had postpartum thyroiditis, and it's rare, but it happens. And pretty much I had loads and loads of TSH, which is thyroid stimulating hormone, released into my body, and so my body kind of went into like toxic shock, and it was working overtime. So what the doctor ended up doing was stopping my thyroid from working. So he gave me methimazole. Now the problem with that was that I was actually allergic to that pill. I actually thought that I had a overdose of potassium because I was taking potassium at that time, and it ended up being the methimazole. Luckily, by the time I found out, I was already good enough to stop taking methimazole, and so I did. But at that time, I had like hives all over my body, difficulty breathing, you name it. So moving forward after that, see, when you have postpartum thyroiditis, you are in hyper mode, so your thyroids are hyper. So after stopping your thyroids, your body just crashes. Your thyroid gland does everything for you. It sends hormones to your brain. It sends hormones to your organs, your heart, you name it. So it really is a very important piece of your body. And I never knew how important it was. I always knew that I had hypothyroidism, but I never had problems with it until after giving birth to Luna, which you end up having postpartum thyroiditis from trauma. It could be physical trauma, such as giving birth, or it can be mental trauma. The doctor even said something like a very important test. The stress of it can end up giving you this. But mine is postpartum, so that's why it's called postpartum thyroiditis. But you can just get thyroiditis from anything else, a car accident, anything. Moving forward, my body crashed. My thyroid gland was severely slow. Now, when your thyroid is slow, you have brain fog, you have loss of concentration, loss of cognitive skills, and loss of memory. And it was really bad for me. At one point, I forgot my name. I forgot my birthday. I still have the journal where I wrote down every vital piece of information just in case I forgot it. Luckily, never did I forget my children's name, which surprised me because I completely forgot mine. And I'm not trying to be dramatic, but that is what I went through. My brain felt fuzzy. I felt like I had sand in my brain, specifically my left side. And he said that would pass, and that I would never have to go through this again. This is a very rare instance. You don't even have to worry about it. And so I thought that was going to be the case. He is a specialist after all. Of course, he's human, and of course, you should never promise anything, especially when it has to do with the human body, because you just never know. So my doctor slowly started giving me Synthroid when he thought that it was okay to start medicating me and get my thyroid back to working. So he started me out with 25 milligrams of Synthroid, which is what you take when you have a thyroid condition, and it just helps regulate your thyroid. And so within every 2 months, he would raise the dosage until I was taking 175 milligrams. I naturally have a slow working thyroid. 175 is pretty much the norm for me. And I was feeling great. I had energy. I could play with my children. I could wake up early, and it wasn't a struggle for me. When you have a slow thyroid, it is very difficult for you to wake up in the morning. When you have a hyperthyroid, it's very difficult for you to even go to bed. You have insomnia. Hypothyroidism, you actually can go to bed quite easily, but it's a task to wake up. You are very, very tired, and it's almost as if you never went to bed in the first place. But with the medication that he was giving me, my thyroid was regulated, and I felt like myself. I wasn't depressed. I didn't have a lot of anxiety, and I could concentrate. I was able to be a mom. I was able to be a partner. I was able to, be there for my family, and I was able to continue making videos. So that's just a little backstory for you guys, just in case you guys are new to my channel, or you didn't quite know what had happened after I gave birth to Luna, or just so you guys can better understand my situation up until now. So June came along, June of this year, and I just wasn't feeling myself once again. I was super hyper, super agitated. I did not have any patience whatsoever. And when I say no patience, I mean absolutely none. Zilch. And I was super moody. I had more bad days than I had good. And I was not myself. I was crying all the time, guys. And for no specific reason, except I just wasn't feeling myself. I had a lot of anxiety, a lot of heart palpitations, rapid heartbeat. and I started losing weight once again. So I made a appointment with my endocrinologist. Come to find out, I had thyrotoxicosis. So I ended up having, well, it wasn't exactly postpartum thyroiditis, but I ended up having thyroiditis once again, which he pretty much had promised me that would never happen again, which I never took that as gospel. Anything could happen. But he was actually baffled that I went through this twice, and he thinks that I still had pretty much stored some of the excess hormones that I had in my thyroid, and they finally were released, and then I went into thyrotoxicosis once again. You know, I am not too knowledgeable, you know, with all of this, but, you know, okay, I took his word for it. And he didn't put me on methimazole again because I'm, you know, allergic to it. He just lowered my dosage. So I was on 175 and he lowered it to 0.5 milligrams. And I quickly crashed. I had lost again about 20 pounds and I gained about 25 back. In July, I was feeling okay, and like after I got, you know, the proper meds, I was feeling okay towards the end of June, and I thought everything was going to be okay. And then it came July, and so let me just tell you another little backstory. So in July, this will make sense, okay? In July, you guys know I love going thrifting. So I had went to Savers and I picked up some vintage earrings. And whenever I get vintage, any type of earrings, I always put them in an alcohol solution, make sure they're nice and clean, things like that, because you never know, you know? And it's always better to be safe than sorry. So I've never had a allergic reaction, never ever. So I've always been the type of person that could wear costume jewelry and I'm like, I'm good to go. So I, you know, put it in the alcohol solution. The next day I wore these pair of earrings and they were beautiful, but they were a little bit on the heavy side. I don't know if that played a part, but the next day after having worn them, I ended up with a huge infection. My ears were black and blue up to like midway of my ear, and my skin was just like peeling and exposed and bleeding, and it was disgusting, guys, and that has never happened to me. And then the next day, I ended up with a huge, swollen lymph node. It was huge, guys. I thought I was going to have it forever. And I thought, you know, that's just odd. But I do know when you have a thyroid condition, you are prone to getting infections much more easier. So even though it was shocking because I've never had an ear infection, you know, to that degree, especially when it has to do with costume jewelry, but I just kind of, you know, let it go. Like, okay, I put bacitracin on it, it healed properly, and I didn't think anything of that. So a week had passed after dealing with that, and I started feeling like a fuzzy feeling in my head. I started feeling a lot of brain fog, once again, loss of concentration. And I thought, oh, here we go again, which I was right. And then I started getting, I still have that sand sensation, but it was more of like a numbing feeling where I just could not feel the left side of my head, and it traveled down to the left side of my body. And for the last couple weeks, you know, I couldn't really walk. I lost vision in my left eye. It was blurry. I mean, I didn't lose complete vision, but it was completely blurry on my left eye. And it was so blurry that I was very, very dizzy all the time. I had a lot of vertigo. And I had to lay down a lot of the time. I pretty much just couldn't be present. Like, I couldn't be present in my family's life. I missed my children's birthday. I mean, I was there for my children's birthday, but not how I wanted to be there. I just had to sit on the couch and, you know, we opened up gifts, but I had plans for them. And I was going to take them to the zoo, actually, and I couldn't take them to the zoo because I couldn't walk. They did blood work on me. They checked to see if it had to do with B12 deficiency. They checked to see if it had to do with my iron. I had gotten a CAT scan before, and it came back okay. And the endocrinologist told me that, and it's still up in the air, so I don't know if this is exactly what I have, but he told me that I may have Hashimoto's disease, which is where, and let me just pull it up so, because this is all very new to me. It says Hashimoto's disease is a autoimmune disease. It is a disorder in which the immune system turns against the body's own tissues. In people with Hashimoto's, the immune system attacks the thyroid. This can lead to hypothyroidism, a condition in which the thyroid does not make enough hormones for the body's needs. So, the thyroid gland makes hormones that control metabolism, your heart rate. Like I said, it helps your brain mentally do its job. The point of the story is to let you guys know that I haven't forgotten about you guys, and I don't mean to be so distant. I have just been going through a lot, and it was very difficult to even write to you guys, like write comments back to you guys. I would even have Jose like proofread what I wrote just to make sure I made sense, because I just had a lot of like blockage in my brain and I just couldn't think properly. There was a time where I thought that these symptoms wouldn't ever go away and that they would get worse. And I talked to my primary doctor and I said, all of my symptoms that I have, they're pretty much the exact symptoms of a MS patient, and I want her to check me for that. The doctor thinks that it is my thyroid, and I'm better now, as you guys can see. So maybe it is and maybe it isn't, but I do still think that I need a second opinion, because if it is MS, I would like to know. I know with MS you need to get an MRI and a spinal tap. I'm not sure. I think they do blood work as well. Maybe blood work first. I'm not sure, but and I have all the symptoms here of what I was going through, because like I said, I had so much brain fog that any little symptom that I had, I wrote it down because I didn't want to forget. So some of the symptoms here are numbness on the left side, brain fog, loss of concentration, muscle weakness, nerves agitated, heart palpitations, anxiety and depression. I woke up to headaches. Like pretty much every morning I had a headache, which I find is very strange. I don't know if it's just, taking a different dosage of Synthroid. I felt dizzy and lost some vision on my left eye, which I pretty much explained all of the symptoms to you guys. But it's been a very scary time for me, and sometimes I don't want to celebrate when I feel good because I don't know if I'm going to wake up feeling the same way that I did a couple weeks ago. I feel like I'm almost going to jinx myself. And it was just a very scary place. The hardest part of me feeling this way is just, seeing the sadness in my children's eyes, and, they're wondering, why are you so sad all the time? Or why are you so mad all the time? And, there was one point where, of course I was always there for my children no matter how sick I felt, but there was a time where, as soon as Jose got home from work, I had to go rest. There was no option. Like, I had to rest. And, my children would cry because they didn't want me to go to bed, at like 4:30, p.m. in the middle of the day. They wanted to spend time with me, and I couldn't do it. And, to be lying on the bed and just hearing, my children playing with their father and just having a good time, and then, they would make a comment like, oh, I wish Mommy was here. It's difficult, and I couldn't function. Like, it was difficult for me to, stand for long periods of time. It was difficult for me to do a lot of physical activity. It was difficult for me to clean the house. And I'm someone who gets crazy. Like, if the house just becomes this pile of mess, all I can do is just be happy that I'm feeling good now. But, I definitely want answers. I am going to continue making videos as long as I am 100% healthy. I don't want to push myself into doing something and causing more stress. That's another thing. My primary doctor put me on different meds for my anxiety because I have chronic anxiety, and she thinks the numbness could be due to that. And personally, I don't think so, but yeah, I definitely think I'm going to get a second opinion because it's just a scary place to be. Kind of the unknown. Like, they're not really sure why I've had this episode twice. But yeah, so I guess the last thing that I will talk about before ending this video is that I decided to, once I started feeling better, obviously, I decided to make a second channel. And of course I thought about this for a very long time, seeing that I haven't been feeling all too well, and to start a second channel, was that going to cause more stress for me? And this is always going to be my main channel, and that is just, the second channel is just kind of another outlet for me, I guess. And I've always wanted to make a relaxation channel or an ASMR channel, and so I decided to make one. And it's been 2 weeks. The channel is fairly new, and I will leave a link to my second channel down below. You do not have to subscribe. I know that ASMR is not for everybody, and a lot of people think that it's kind of weird. But I wanted to give back, and I wanted to give people comfort and a restful sleep. I wanted to help people with insomnia. I just wanted to help people de-stress, and I know that's something that I needed for a long time, and with everything that I was going through with my health, asthma really helped me a lot, and I wanted to give back to that community. So I decided to make a channel for myself. I wanted to start an ASMR channel because I feel like it's not to say that this is a stressful channel, because it's not, but you know, ASMR starts off in a relaxing environment, and so I actually am very relaxed when I make those videos, and I don't know, it just gives me zen, I guess. So that's it for this video. I just wanted to, you know, kind of answer the questions that I have been asked, you know, through Snapchat. And I don't know if some of you guys have noticed my distance. I try to be as, you know, as positive and uplifting as possible. And even though I have been feeling horrible, I still want to keep my spirit on my channel. I don't want to get emotional. But know that you guys are very important to me, and if you guys have noticed any type of distance, you know, I do apologize, but I am going to, you know, continue to make these videos. Don't think I'm just gonna stop doing this, because I love this little community that I have built with you guys, and I'm actually about to film a Dollar Tree haul, so look out for that. I love you guys to pieces, and I will see you guys in the next one.